Okay, this is all the gold from the end of 2021. I never did get around to weighing it, so we're going to weigh it. Had to buy a brand new scale, so let's see. Tear it out. Hopefully that can come in. Let's see what we got. So, and that's where we ended at the Gold Rush 21. So, let's see if we can match that for Gold Rush 22. Howdy, welcome back to Pacific Northwest Gold Rushers. I'm Jeff, amateur prospector, and this is Gold Rush 22. Well, as you saw, I finally weighed up Gold Rush 21's gold, and in truth it turned out being exactly 7 grams. I think when I took the picture it said like 0.695, but as I was getting ready to pick it up, it jumped to 7, so that counts. So this year's goal, let's shoot for 7. So anyway, I got a birthday party today with my amazing nephew. So I decided to do some fixing on that sluice I bought. I'll show you what we're dealing with here. So I bought this sluice because it's compact, but there is a couple of design problems. Like for some reason they made this thing adjustable, but it leaves a gap right here. Also, you see this? This was barely even glued on. You can see it only adhered right here and right here. So what I'm going to do, because I'm going to make this where it just stays perfectly flat anyway, is I'm going to actually end up punching a hole right here. I thought about riveting it, but I decided not. But I'm going to get some silicone underneath here. And then I'm going to cut this to basically go from this indicator mat from about, it will go from about here all the way across. And it's pretty easy to do. All it takes, I got a tube of silicone and everything. But the other thing, it's really kind of funny, this is always going to build up right here. I was trying to think, should I try to make or fabricate a flange or something? I'm still thinking on that one. I could use like a door jamb, not door jamb, like a, you know, with a, you know, those things that transition from hardwood to carpet kind of thing. You can use just about anything. I don't know. I was looking at a couple of my other sluices and some other people's sluices, and they all have that. But we'll just do this first, and if then now for tomorrow. I am going to go tomorrow, but it's going to be Sunday, and I have to work the next day. But it's going to be an early morning run. I got a couple simple goals. The weather really is all over the place. I'm going to go back initially to the bank vault, and I'm going to test that next layer down. I'm going to just I don't know, maybe a bucket or something, and let's see how the gold is with that. That's going to tell me if I want to keep going down another layer. I fell for this in the past, where it looked so good, and I'd keep going down, and the gold just gets less and less and less and less. I don't know why. You'd think it would get better, 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 better. Once I test that, determining on what I find, then I'm going to chisel at the walls. I'm going to find and do some test painting on the upper wall, on the right wall, and the left wall. The gold I found last weekend, although I felt it was good, it felt like it got smaller, almost like maybe a decade or so ago, or maybe longer. That's been dug, and then it replenished itself, because the gold was definitely flood gold. There was no bigger pieces. You know, there was a couple in there, I guess, but I don't know if it came from that section or this section, so I can't tell. But so tomorrow is testing that, and then I want to go test this sluice. That's why I'm trying to get it done today, on a couple creeks. I got this one creek I've been just trying to get across, and every time I get the opportunity, something comes up, somebody's there, and anybody knows with prospecting, you really don't want to start something with looky-loos around, because they'll jump on it before you get a chance. So tomorrow's going to be kind of a cruise around, scout the creeks, scout some new spots. If the money pit, if the bank vault doesn't look promising anymore, or we're going to have to totally move it a whole nother section up, probably going to close the vault. I'll reclimate it, put everything back in there, make sure I know exactly where it is. Might even leave a marker stone or two on the corner, and then that way when we go to dig again, we know exactly where to start, and because of the testing, which direction to start. So that's the plan. So right now, I'm going to get this done while I wait to go to that birthday party, and then definitely, I think tonight might have to catch up on some more YouTube prospecting shows. Found a couple new ones I really am enjoying. It's nice because when you find them, because you can go back to the beginning and watch them all. And I really like your guys' YouTube videos, especially the ones that not just show the gold, but show why they're digging, where they're digging, and the equipment they're using, how they use their equipment. And it really, to me, I take bits and pieces from different things, and I get ideas. It's like, oh, I could try something like that with this. So to me, I appreciate every one of you that do these videos, and not just show the gold, because here in the Pacific Northwest in Washington, yeah, we got some gold that it's tough getting to, and I'm a broken down old man who just does this for the fun of it. So it's a hobby. I'm going to get that fixed. Tomorrow, I'm going to find that nug. See you tomorrow. Gold Rush 22. Okay, just an update on my my sluice. I did decide to go with the rivets. So I put 3 rivets in here to keep this from flapping. And very little protrusion. That's the reason I want this thing. And I put 3 because, truthfully, from my experience, I did work at Boeing at one time. And, you know, rivets are not used for shear strength. They're used for keeping things pressed together. Bolts, high locks and stuff like that are used for shear strength. But we're not talking about, I'm not planning on walking on this thing. So I just want it to stay secure. Again, a strange design. I don't get it. There's probably a reason for it. I don't get it. Then I made a cardboard template for tracing out and making my mat. So my mat will go in here, just like this. I'll silicone it all down, and then I'll lay a bead silicone all the way around. And I might even pull it back just enough, and I'll pull these up and lay a bead in front of here. So, yeah, I think that will work great. And we'll hopefully have it done in time to test it out tomorrow. Till then, enjoy. So I scribed a couple lines, And that's where I'm going to lay my mat. I'm going to go inside of it because it's going to ooze out a little bit. I get the darn thing to work. It's not my caulking gun. There she comes. I don't want to use it all because I'm going to run a bead on the seams. Probably want to take that off. And I'm just going to take this piece of cardboard, I'm going to tear it. Basically, just like a putty knife, and smooth it out. A nice, smooth, even coat right up to the wall. You don't want any gaps, even though I'm going to be putting a bead around the whole thing. There we go. Now I'm going to take my mat, put it right in there, just like that. Now it's important for any type of this type of adhesive is to start in the center and get all them air bubbles out. Then I'm going to be placing something heavy on this to keep it down. As I keep working on this, I'll get something heavy on it, keep all these lips and flanges down. And then I'll come back and I'll lay a bead all the way around, including here. Working out. Howdy hey. Welcome back. It's the next morning. I made it down here to the bank vault. Once again, the weatherman missed the forecast. In the positive way. So even walking up to this is just amazing. Let me show you. So literally this is massive. Now I could keep going, but I have my plans for today. So let's take a closer look. If I can drop down in here. So this is the area that I thought looked real promising, but really produced smaller gold, and even the gravels just don't seem like they're placed there by the river because they're not compressed tightly. Those look like that, but these don't. And you can see, starting from here, sand, 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 and then here. But my goal today is to move this rock, and probably that rock, and go down, just to the next layer, because even though it rained all week, and this is just sand that covered it, you can see from previous videos that it's compressed in there. Then once I do a good test of this bottom area here, I'm going to do a test of this wall, and then this wall. And you can see it looks good. Like, you can't just flip that out. And that's the goal for today. It's Sunday. I can't spend a lot of time here. I did get my sluice done. I think it turned out good. So I have another goal for today, is to go test that out on a creek that I'm hoping, because the river's down right now. At least down from where it's been. And I'm hoping the creeks are low enough that I can put on my my hip waders and get across it without falling in, and maybe run a bucket or two through my sluice, because I really want to see if I can catch a nug in that sucker. So let's get some pay dirt up here. Let's get to work. Ooh, just noticed something. That right there wasn't there. I just stepped there, and you can see I'm right at the water table. So I'm sure once I get to the next layer I'm going to be in the water, but that's okay. We're only going to run a bucket or so. In fact, my goal is about a bucket on each dig. Bucket down, bucket up, bucket to the right. And that will determine exactly what my next plan is. This is a strange time of year here, because temperatures are warming up, even though it's still a little brisk this morning. But the melts are going to come, and it takes a lot of work to make a pit like this. But the first high water is going to come in, and I don't want just that sand coming in. So if I hit good gold going down, that could put a hiccup in my plan, because I'm not expecting it. Because my goal is to close the bank vault today. I'm going to get all these rocks back in here, including those two biggers, back in here. Get a good marker stone for each corner, and then when I come back, I can just pull the sand onto an area and either go that way or this way. So we'll see. All I know is I'm really blessed. I mean, good golly. What an absolute beautiful day. So even though I have to work tomorrow, I don't know. If this turns out good, maybe I'll hold off on the sluice. But we'll figure that out when we know more. So for right now, I'm going to get to work, and let's get to it and find that nug. Gold Rush 22. I thought I hit the play record on this, but that was not easy. That was down in there, and because I didn't film it like an idiot, it took at least 20 minutes to get that rolled out of there because of them two rocks in the way. So I had to use rocks to keep getting leverage to finally get it to a tipping point to manhandle it over. So about halfway through, you start telling yourself, God, is it really worth it? Well, I just moved a 200-pound rock. I gotta throw out a few that I put back in here. But we'll be able to do our test, and I'll be able to see what's down below there. We got another one there, but here's the interesting thing. Look at this. So I need to take a little break, get some H2O in me. I sprayed myself with some dirt a little bit. I gotta get the dirt out of my eyes. But we're gonna see what's under that boulder. Big rock, big gold. Gold Rush 22. Howdy, hey, welcome back. Yeah, that rock took a lot of energy out of me. But I got enough for a good test here. Had to pull out a couple more very tightly compressed rocks underneath it, which tells me they most likely were the old river gravels, and they're good size, so big rock, big gold. So I got enough here for probably about a bucket or so, but you can see that that rock right down in there, how it's decomposing and everything. So that actually goes down about another, that puddle goes down about another 4 or 5 inches. But this is all just tightly in. And other than the rocks I used for leverage to get that rock out, those are all the rocks that were so tight in there. So just getting this little bit of dirt was a lot of work. But it's going to give me a direction. So if it turns out good, which we'll know here shortly, I keep the bank vault open and I keep pushing that way or that way. Probably up a little bit more on the next dig. If it turns out bad, we close the bank vault. Right now I need to get this classified and keep me a little hydration in me. You can see I'm sweating my booty off. And that's what us old fat guys do. And so we'll get back to you. Plus I got sand in my eye. That sucks. But let's find that nug. Gold Rush 22. Okay. We got her into a bucket. Hopefully I didn't leave any good stuff behind, but just barely got it all in. That Arbor Fabrication classifier really does speed things up. That's going to be a heavy sucker. But there looks like a nice, comfy, soft rock right there. That'd be perfect to sit on and speed pan this down. So let's see what we got. Maybe there's a nug. Gold Rush 22. Howdy hey, I finally finished that bucket. And that rock was not as soft as I thought it was. But, well, let me show you. It took a lot more time this time because I wasn't bringing the concentrates home. Normally I do not even worry. And once I get the black sand, dump it in a bucket. But today is not about that. Today is figuring out, do I keep going down or do I move the hole? You know, one way or the other. But let me show you. It's not horrible for one bucket, but yeah, let me just show you. So it's not even measurable, but it is gold. You know, you multiply that by 10 buckets and we got some good gold. But what's important to me is the size of the flicks. Now, it seems, and I'm glad I tested because I've come for an entire day moving boulders like you just saw I moved and thinking there's going to be some nugs down here and it's all gold like that. And that's a lot of work for a minuscule amount of gold. Whereas the layer above that, down to it, has good gold. So Ken actually showed up today, and he wanted to, you know, evaluate the hole. He gave me some suggestions, which basically said I'm doing exactly what you need to do. Test the next layer. You don't want to go through all this work and turn out if you just would have went one more foot, you could have found that cheesy nug. But my next goal, after I take a small little break here, I'm not doing bucket this time, I'm just doing a pan in the wall that's up from the hole and a wall to the right from the hole. And I'm just going to fill up my super sluice and see what I get. If I see a few colors in just one pan, that's a good direction. If I don't see any, then that's not the way to go. So let me snuffer that up, take a small little hydration break, and we'll be back at it. Gold Rush 22. Okay, well, let me show you, because this is what I look for, and it's way different than what I just dug. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. But I got one test pan in my super sluice. Let me drop down there and show you. Okay, so this is these smaller rocks, about fist size or a little bigger, some are smaller. But the nice thing about having a pit like this, you can kind of see the evolution of the soil. I'm not a geologist. I wish I was, actually, but let me show you what I'm talking about. So what I did is oh, what's that right there? So I went and pried out a few rocks and was just taking my scoop and shoveling down into my pan, which I did, and just scraping it. And I got to see what that is. Oh. Well, I'm going to put that in my pan. That's a nug. So anyway, that's what I'm looking for. You see how tightly packed they are? I mean, they're just like concrete trying to get them out. I'm going to have to check that out. That's a nug. Anyway, let me get that panned out and see what we got. Gold Rush 22. Okay. I just want to point out, I got this pan down, and you saw the pan. One pan, and look how much black sand. Just from that, and it wasn't even a heaping pan, but there is already gold in it right there. So I just started pulling it back. There's some gold there. I'm doing this fast. I'll pan it down better. I was just kind of surprised how much black sand there. Oops, I just washed that flake down. So, one pan, and oh goodness, I'm doing this way too fast, but there's a flake there. So let me get this in the super pan. You see, there's 3 flakes right there. 4, 5. So that's one pan, unclassified. And that's why I was saying, I fell for this before. We had a hole we called the money pit. And, oh God, it looked good. And we spent all day using come-alongs, pulling out these big boulders and everything. And we got squat for a lot of work. And we came back later to try to push, just like I'm planning on doing with this one. And unfortunately, we had a week-long thunder shower, a whole rain squall come through for a week. And just totally lost the hole. And never got access to it again for at least a month or so because of the river level. And so we just kind of moved on. We know where it is. We can always go back, but that was a bummer. That was a producer there. But let me get this the rest of the way panned out. But still, now this is that monster super pan. Look how much black sand is in there for one pan. So let me get her dumped into this pan and find down a little bit more to see exactly what we got, and we'll get her done. Okay, well, let me show you. Remember, one pan, wasn't even heaping, unclassified. Quickly panned it down, got a ton of black sand. And let me show you, I find it takes forever, and I probably lost a few flakes because, you know, the gold floats, this little tiny gold does, and that's why I don't like cleaning up here, but we at least know a direction we're going to go. So let me show you. So, that's not much less than the other of a bucket. And that was literally just taking my scoop and scraping the walls. I only pried 2 rocks and then went up against the others. So who knows what's compressed in there. So if I was to guess, just from the history of this bar. Right above the water line is the next layer. There's the compressed rocks I kind of scraped. And again, I could have got into more crevices. All the way up to where you see that flat rock right there. So that's about 2.5 to 3 feet of the pay layer. So the good news is I have a direction to go. If we can maintain this hole, I have a direction. I kind of want to get out and do some other things, but Ken was talking to me today, and he's like, once you open up that hole, buddy, you gotta go. I mean, it's not going to be there forever, and you know, look at the amount of work we put. I mean, we're talking 2 mountains of sand, huge rocks. Heck, just to get that little bit of gold on that first pan I showed you, that took me, you know, over 30 minutes to get that rock out, and a lot of sweat. So I'm going to have to do another production day. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these rocks and dump them down into here, and then take the sand to get down just a section at a time and pull it right down into the hole over here. And then we're going to work that direction up. Then probably, you know, basically I probably got 2 good days of digging here. A lot of rock to move still, but it's easier to use that pickaxe and pull it down and then shovel it up. So kind of looking like I'm going to have to talk my buddy Rich to get his booty out here and give me a hand again. So we got a direction to go. That's a good pan. That's a good pan for just one pan. And again, it wasn't even heaping. And I just speed panned it. Can you believe the amount of black sand there is? You guys who do beach mining and everything, wow. I don't know how you do it. Well, do it with any kind of volume. But let's get packed up. I don't know if I'm going to... This is taking me way longer than I thought it was going to. I'm running out of time right now. I've already been here about 3 to 4 hours. And some of that was BSing with Ken and stuff. But let me get this snuffered up, get packed up. Yeah. We have some good information. And I think we got another good run in us. Rich, I'm coming for you. Just keep your fingers out of the pan. Gold Rush 22. Well, howdy, I made it home. And just to give you guys something to look at, I'll show you the snuffer dump. So none of those are actually close enough to be calling nugs. Yeah, they're close, but not nugs. But what a great day. Oh my goodness. I had to take a shower when I got home. I got a little sand, and not the fun place to get a little sand. Had sand in my eye. But we learned a lot today. Just like the money pit, all the hard work of moving that 200+ pound boulder out of the way and everything really didn't produce a whole lot. But, you know, 3/4 of a pan scraped off the wall gave me almost just as much gold. So we're going to keep the bank vault open for another week. I'm going to try to convince Rich to let's do one last push before we close the vault. And yeah, I would have to say it's a pretty successful day. The only bad thing is I wanted to try out my sluice. I got her all done. I showed you guys what I did, and the only part you missed was just laying a bead around the whole thing and then smoothing it out. But it's going to work, and I'm happy with that. But, you know, you just run out of time sometimes. So it's a good example of the kind of material that here in Skagit Valley in the Pacific Northwest, you know, we don't get those big giant flakes that some people get, but we do what we do and get what we get, and we're happy for it. But days like this, what a blessing. The weatherman actually called for rain all weekend. So it was a good day. And I want to thank everybody who subscribed in the last week or so. Really jumped up, and I appreciate it. I want to keep it going, so hopefully I earned your subscription. And if you like the video, please give a thumbs up. And also, please leave a comment. And, you know, all those things do help build the channel. And I just enjoy this, and it's nice. I got to tell you, I mean, I found a couple new people I've been watching. I said this before. And one guy cracks me up. It just cracks me up. I'm trying to remember the name of him. I think it's beginner prospector or something like that. And at the end of his videos, it's the best part. The whole videos are awesome, but at the very end, he's like, I hope it moves the scale. And it's just when it does, he gets so excited. So, you know, all us amateur prospectors, we know we can make a lot more money. You know, don't quit your day job kind of thing. But it's about the adventure. It's about getting out there, the hunt. Taking all the knowledge you learn, whether it be from YouTube, friends, experience, this and that, and going on the hunt and finding your own gold. And you take little bits of this and that from all your guys' videos, and I appreciate it. And, you know, I sit in the morning on the weekend. I look forward to it. I love my morning pot of coffee. Yes, I said pot. And I sit and watch the YouTube videos. There's a couple of them that I just recently found, and I just enjoy them. It's the experience, and it's kind of like you're sharing it with them. But I also want my videos to hopefully tell somebody, you know, hey, I should try that, or, you know, what to kind of look for. And the whole country is different. The whole world is different. So the materials that I dig through is totally different than somebody, say, like, you know, Flower Gold Wizard. The stuff he's digging is like, but the black sand today, I don't think I've ever had a pan that needed that much time to get what I got. But none of them are big enough to call nugs, but we'll get them next week. I'll get Rich on my side. We'll bring the gold rushers back together. And so until next weekend, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. And most of all, you work to live, you don't live to work. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy life. Every moment counts. Gold Rush 22.